The Galactic Academy's Xenobiology lecture hall fell silent as Professor Velnath gestured toward the massive containment unit at the center of the auditorium. Inside, barely visible through the reinforced plasma shields, a Crythian apex predator paced with deadly grace. Its 6 obsidian eyes tracked every movement in the room, and its razor-sharp mandibles clicked with anticipation. This specimen, Velnath announced to the assembled students from 40 different species, represents the apex of evolutionary aggression in the Outer Rim. No natural predator in known space possesses a higher kill efficiency rating. Lieutenant Jake Morrison sat in the back row, the only human among 300 alien students. At 26, he was part of Earth's first exchange program with the Galactic Concordance, here to learn about the wider universe humanity had only recently joined. Most of his classmates kept a respectful distance from him, not out of fear exactly, but uncertainty. Humans were still an unknown quantity in galactic society. The Crythian, Velnath continued, his 4 arms gesturing dramatically, has never failed to kill when released in proximity to prey. Its hunting instinct is absolute. Its reaction time is measured in microseconds. Against such a creature, even armed Concordant security forces suffer 60% casualties before neutralization. A nervous chittering rippled through the students. The Vrection next to Jake, a mollusk-like being named Quilleth, pulled their sensory stalks closer to their body. Of course, Velnath said with what passed for a smile among his species, we are perfectly safe. The containment field is impenetrable, rated 4. The lights flickered. In that instant, every being in the room felt it, a subtle shift in the electromagnetic field that permeated the station. The containment unit's humming dropped half an octave. Then it went silent. The plasma shields collapsed with a sound like shattering glass. The reinforced door of the cage snapped open, its magnetic locks disengaging with a metallic clang that echoed through the suddenly frozen auditorium. For one crystallized moment, nothing moved. The Crythian stood motionless in its open cage, 6 eyes scanning, processing. Then it exploded into motion. The creature launched itself from the platform with impossible speed, a blur of chitin armor and gleaming talons. Its roar split the air, a sound engineered by millions of years of evolution to trigger primal terror, to freeze prey in place for the killing strike. 300 students screamed. The Concordance emergency protocols kicked in, but the security doors would take 8 seconds to engage. The creature would reach the nearest students in 2. Except Jake Morrison didn't scream. He didn't run. He didn't even stand up. The human sat perfectly still, one hand resting casually on his desk terminal, and looked directly at the charging apex predator. His face held no fear, no panic, only a strange, calm assessment, like someone evaluating whether it was worth getting up to answer the door. The Crythian's roar died in its throat. The creature's charge faltered. Its 6 eyes locked onto Jake, and for the first time in its species' evolutionary history, confusion rippled across its alien features. The predator slowed, then stopped completely, 20 feet from the human. Silence crashed over the auditorium. Jake tilted his head slightly, maintaining eye contact. He took a slow, deliberate breath, the kind you take when you're annoyed at an interruption, not when you're facing certain death. No, he said quietly. Just one word, but his voice carried in the shocked stillness. The Crythian's mandibles quivered. Its hunting posture collapsed. The creature that had never known hesitation, never known doubt, took a step backward. Then another. Professor Velnath's translator struggled to process his strangled sounds. Impossible, the pheromones, the fear response, every species. Jake finally stood, moving with deliberate slowness. The Crythian tracked him with all 6 eyes, but made no aggressive motion. If anything, it seemed to shrink back. You want to know why? Jake addressed Velnath, though he kept his gaze on the predator. I grew up in Montana. When I was 12, I got between a grizzly bear and her cubs during a camping trip. He took a step forward. The Crythian took a step back. Brown bear. 800 pounds of muscle, claws, and teeth. Hungry, protective, angry. Another step. The predator retreated again, a low whine building in its throat. I had no weapons. No armor. No backup. Jake's voice remained level, almost conversational. You know what I learned that day, Professor? Every predator, every single one, across every ecosystem on Earth, runs the same calculation before an attack. It asks itself, will this prey hurt me before I can kill it? The Crithian's whine intensified. Its body language shifted completely, from hunter to hunted. Humans don't freeze because we're afraid, Jake continued. We freeze because we're deciding. We're running our own calculation. And right now? He looked directly into those 6 alien eyes. I'm deciding you're not worth the effort of moving. The creature broke. With a high-pitched keen of distress, it turned and fled back into its cage, pressing itself into the far corner. Security finally arrived, weapons drawn and useless. The emergency doors slammed shut 8 seconds too late to matter. Kuletha's translator finally stuttered back to life. How did you? Jake sat back down, pulling up his interrupted notes on his terminal. Earth is a Class 12 death world, Kuleth. You know what that means? He glanced at his mollusk-like classmate. It means everything on my planet is either trying to kill you, or trying not to be killed. We didn't evolve to be the fastest or the strongest. We evolved to be the most stubborn. Professor Velnath approached slowly, his 4 arms trembling. The pheromones alone should have triggered your fear response. Every species we've encountered has the same biochemical reaction to apex predators. It's universal. Maybe, Jake acknowledged, typing notes about the day's unexpected lesson. Or maybe you just haven't met enough species yet. Humans spent 300,000 years becoming apex predators on a planet full of things bigger, faster, and meaner than us. We didn't do it by running scared. The professor looked at the cowering Crithian, then back at the human calmly taking notes. What would you have done if it had continued attacking? Jake finally looked up, and something in his eyes made the professor instinctively step back. Whatever was necessary, Professor. Whatever was necessary. As the lecture hall slowly emptied, students giving Jake an even wider berth than before, Kuleth paused. Lieutenant Morrison. That grizzly bear when you were 12. What happened? Jake smiled slightly. She looked at me, ran her calculation, and decided her cubs weren't in danger from a scrawny kid who obviously wasn't running. So she left. He closed his terminal. Turns out, Professor Velnath was almost right. Predators do run on instinct. But so does prey. And humans? Kuleth asked quietly. We're both, Jake said. That's what makes us dangerous. As word spread through the Galactic Academy about the human who stared down a Crithian apex predator, the Concordants began to understand something important about Earth's newest members. Humanity hadn't clawed its way to the top of their food chain by being the strongest. They'd done it by refusing to acknowledge there was a food chain at all.